In this demonstration video, I'm going to show you how to take a weaving off of a loom. And here are some examples. So this is an example of a weaving that's been taken off a loom. This is a bigger one. Okay. And it's fairly easy. You just have to follow certain steps. So here is my weaving so far. I could fill it all the way up, but just for time's sake, I'm going to show you guys how to take this off. Maybe it's like a little bracelet now, doesn't really matter. But when you weave, you're going to fill the entire loom. And what I might do is I might come around and push these threads down. These threads are called the weft threads, because you do not want to see any of these warp threads when you finish your weaving. That's one problem with this one right here. When I pull it, you can really see those warp threads. So I should have pushed this down more. Okay, so I think this is pushed down enough. What you need to do this is you'll need, basically you'll just need a pair of scissors. Maybe a needle, probably not though. Okay, so on the back side of your loom, and you shouldn't have any weft threads on this side, that's the horizontal threads. You're going to rip the tape off of your loom. Okay. And then what you'll do is you're going to cut all of these warp threads down the middle. Now, if I just pulled this off the loom right now, this all would fall apart. You'll flip your loom over, and you're going to start on one side of your loom. So I'm going to start on the bottom, I guess, and you're going to take 2 threads at a time. And you're going to tie them together. You need to tie them in 2 knots or it'll come loose. And you'll do 2 at a time. I'm kind of regretting the twine right now because it looks horrible, but this is just for a demonstration. Two at a time, you're tying them into knots. Oops. You want to use about the same amount of space so it's even. So on my loom, I'm ending with 3 strands. What you'll do is basically, you can tie 2 together. And then using 1 strand, you can tie the last one to it. Okay, so my whole bottom's been tied. Now what you'll do is you're just going to do the other side. And again, you're tying 2 at a time. And you're double knotting it. Okay, and I've come to the last 3 strands, kind of a crazy mess. And what I did, just to repeat, is I tied 2 together. Okay, and then just using one of the strands from that knot, I tied the last one to it. Okay. Okay, so this is kind of hard to see just because I've got some long strands, but everything's been tied together, everything's been double knotted. After you have tied these, what you can do if you want, which I will, is to cut these warp threads down, just because sometimes they look kind of crazy like mine does right now. But you don't want to cut it past the knot. So I'm just going to make these a little short. Well, I would suggest that you do not use the twine for your warp threads because it is not working very well for me. It looks kind of janky. Okay. So my warp threads have been trimmed. This looks much better, although it's still kind of ugly. When you do yours, you might have something like this. Even when I did my other one, you can hardly see those warp threads. So this is probably not the best example with the twine, but you can see how it goes invisible, basically. Okay. So after you do that, you're going to take the ends of your weft threads, and that's this horizontal brown thread, and you're going to tie them together, okay, and double knot them as well. This just makes sure that the weaving itself will not fall apart. Sometimes that can happen because it's been tugged on or something, so having these tied together just helps it stay more secure. Okay, so those have been tied, and again, just like our warp threads, we can trim the excess off, but not past the knot. Okay, and there's my little weaving. It's kind of ugly, but it's the same process when you do your other ones. Okay, so hopefully maybe your weaving will turn out like this one or even this one. Okay, hopefully not like my little ugly one. So good luck on your weaving.